Hey everybody, it's Matt. I figured I'd do a little deck tech for some remaining Wave 1 decks that I have kind of just sitting around here before I get to open up my Wave 2 boxes, which are still in the mail, unfortunately. So hopefully they get here soon so I can open them up and put all the new good stuff in my current decks. So this is a deck list that, well, I should say my first deck that I built. And I've changed it a few times, and I've seen other people run different versions of it. Now, I know that Slipstream is probably the more common one you'd want to run, but unfortunately, she's a bit pricey at the moment, and until I get my hands on one that's affordable, or they reprinter, I'm just not willing to drop that kind of money on that card. So in the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and show you my Jets deck, or Planes deck, for Wave 1. Alright, so the characters that we're going to talk about today, we have Thundercracker, Starscream, and Skywarp. These are three of my favorite characters from the original series. I absolutely adore Starscream. He's one of my favorite characters, and they synergize pretty well for their star cost. Starscream's ability is that he's a leader. All these share the same plane subtype and also the range subtype. You can see their attack values, their health, and also their defenses. But Starscream's ability is that when you flip into this mode, do damage to an enemy equal to the number of planes you have. You're not really going to want to flip your other planes into any other mode aside from keeping them in their plane mode. You're going to want to be mostly flipping Starscream every turn. So on your first turn, you'll want to swing with Thundercracker, flip Starscream into his bot mode. Then when turn 2 comes up, flip Starscream back into the other mode, deal out your direct damage. In the last turn, you're going to want to flip him back into bot mode and swing with some bold. Now let's take a look at some cards that you can play in this deck. I am going to say this deck is very much a glass cannon. And it's not really meant to be incredibly competitive, but I've seen it take out some pretty legit decks at times. Just either maybe determining by the player's skill or maybe the mistakes they made. Who knows? This deck did pretty good a couple times. So this is a one-off in the deck. Our first card we're going to talk about is action is Backup Plan. Backup Plan is mostly there for the white pip. I did consider running a data bank at one time just for more card draw, but I felt like sometimes this deck may have problems with its hand management, but this card has been one of the better ones where if I draw bum-handed cards, I can go ahead and play Backup Plan, draw better-handed cards, and kind of just go from there. Next one is going to be Bombing Run. Bombing Run is a 3 of. This card right here, what it does is you choose an enemy, move 1 damage counter from each of your planes to that enemy. This will let you transfer some damage that your planes have taken throughout the battle, as guaranteed your planes will take damage. You'll always want to make sure to protect Skywarp, as his health is so low that he will most likely get KO'd first. So it's a great card, Blue Pip. There's very few Blue Pips in the deck, so let's take a look what's next. We have 3 incoming transmissions. A great card. It lets you draw 2 cards and then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. This specifically lets you set your deck up and do quite a bit of heavy damage by putting an Improvised Shield or a Piece through Tyranny on top. Alright, next we have 3 copies of Piece through Tyranny. This is a wonderful little card. You most likely rarely play this from your hand. Most of the time it will be out there just to do a good amount of damage with attacking. You may KO one of your characters that has 6 stars or more. If you do, take an extra turn after this one. It can be key in finishing off a bad guy, but most times it's there to do some damage. Next is Photon Bomb. I was considering running different cards compared to this one, but I found Photon Bomb just finishes off and wrecks bugs in smaller decks. I love it, even though it doesn't have a pip. It still goes off and does what I want. Play 3 of them, it does 2 damage to each character. Ramming Speed. Ramming Speed is a knockoff force field and annoying armor, and also energon axes and things that give you a problem. It scraps an enemy upgrade, it's got the orange pip. It's pretty great. Next is 3 copies of Supercharge. Supercharge gives your character bold 3 until end of turn, which lets you flip 3 more additional cards when attacking. Great little card. It also has the orange pip, which you'll notice is mostly the primary source of this entire deck. And last but not least of the actions is Treasure Hunt. Treasure Hunt lets you scrap the top forwards of your deck, put all upgrades scrapped this way into your hand. This will let you fish out the cards and the upgrades that we're looking for that we'll talk about next. Alright, next We have one copy of Datapad. I was running 3 Datapads, but I found that I ended up with a bunch of them in my hand and eventually just didn't really need them. It's there mostly whenever it attacks. You draw a card, and then you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. That'll let you place your Peace Through Tyrannies, your Improvised Shields that you don't want your hand on top of your deck to score out some big hidden damage. Next, we have 3 copies of Flamethrower. Flamethrower is a great card. It gives your character Bold 2, which allows you to flip 2 more battle cards when attacking. You'll mostly always want to drop this on someone right away as soon as you get it. Get it some high damage. Next, we have 3 copies of Force Field. Force Field is there almost just to protect your characters. It won't always come out into the field. I mean, most times you will, unless you dig it out with Treasure Hunt. It'll be there just to trigger some more additional flips with the white pip. But when you're attacking, it will be satisfying to actually get those extra damage cards out. If you do get it on a character, make sure you throw it on Starscream or whoever you're sending out first to protect them from a massive attack. Next is 3 copies of Grenade Launcher, one of everyone's favorite card. This card lets you get +4 damage, and after the upgraded your attack, scrap this card. Fantastic little card. Next is going to be Improvised Shield. This card you never want to play from your hand. Never, because there is no blue pips in this deck except for the bombing runs. This card is going to be going on top of your library with a Datapad or just getting discarded. This one here is primarily there for the damage output. Make sure you get it on top of your deck. Next is 2 Null Rays of Starscream. You could run 3 if you want, but I think 2 is the best. This goes on Starscream primarily. It gives him Bold. You can stick it on one of your other planes if you're hard up for upgrades, but it will mostly go on him. And last but not least, we have Rapid Ascent. Rapid Ascent is an orange pip card that you put on your characters, and when you put this on a character, that opponent chooses the card from their hand and scraps it. This is a good card to kind of just throw your opponents off when they have a couple cards in hand. Also, the orange pip does help. And yeah, so let's talk about some more cards that you could possibly put in this deck to help out Jets. Now, Jets themselves do have a bit of issue with high blue pip decks. And they have a really big problem with people bringing back characters back to life for action and upgrade economy. So let's talk about that right now. Alright, so here's some cards that you may want to run in your deck if you don't have Peace Through Tyrannies. They are Aero Recons. You can put them only on planes, and when the upgraded character attacks or defends, you can look at the top card of your deck and scrap it. Most times this will be when you're attacking because you don't really have a lot of blue pips in your deck, but it can save you, if someone does attack and you do manage to get that 1 bombing run. Another card we like to play is Disruptive Entrance. Some people don't really see the value in this card, but I think it's great. You get to look at your opponent's hand and then scrap an action from it. Most times, a lot of these cards in these decks that people play will have a trump card that will save them in the last bout. If you're playing against Dinobots and you take out their sludge and they get an I Still Function in their hand and they bring that sludge back and then flip them to absorb all the damage that you've done to Snarl and Grimlock, that's going to be super annoying. This card right here stops that and fishes it out of their hand. Or they got a Dino Chomp, or if you're playing against cars and they have to start their engines, or you're playing against a double Primes deck and they have a security checkpoint, or one shall stand, one shall fall. This card will get that out of their hand and toss it away. Next, we have Disruption. Same way. This one is to look at your opponent's hand and scrap an upgrade for it. You see they have an annoying armor that's going to cause your Jets a bit of problems, a weapon that's going to smash your guys, or any type of other upgrade such as, I don't know, a Matrix of Leadership will pump all characters. Great way to get that card out of their hand. Armed Hovercraft. Armed Hovercraft can be another card you can run in the deck. It does work well with the planes, as when you put it down, it does 1 damage to every one of their characters. And it can be pretty well. I mean, it gives them +1 attack. It has a blue pip to help you defend a bit, and it will work. But it does really work really well with Swap Parts. Swap Parts is an action. Sorry, as this is sideways. My apologies. So Swap Parts is a great card because it lets you choose 2 of your characters and swap all of their upgrades. So let's say you get a Rapid Ascent on there and an Armed Hovercraft. Those will both trigger again once you swap them to different characters. And if you have multiple of them out, let's say if you have an Armed Hovercraft and a Rapid Ascent on Starscream and you have one on Skywarp and you swap them both like that, when they land back on the characters after swapping, they will both trigger again. It's a kind of a greasy combo. It's hard to work out sometimes, but I mean, it is fun when it goes off. And in the end, unless you're playing for tournament level kind of stuff, the game is about having fun. And I mean, that's the whole part of it. You know, you're going to build a deck to have fun and play cards that you're going to enjoy. I mean, you can try to go tournament level stuff, but in the end, that's really all that matters, is having fun. So yeah, that's my Wave 1 tech deck for, or deck tech for my planes. I thought I'd make a quick video. I've been super busy this week, and I'm just getting over a cold. So hopefully everyone opened up crazy stuff in their Wave 2 boxes. I would love to hear what you guys suggest for planes. I know that Joe over Wreck and Rule does have a decent plane deck, but I haven't really got a chance to see him play it. I should probably watch one of their streams. But anyway, yeah, so double check it out, and have a great day, and let me know what you want to see next. Maybe I'll make a deck tech video coming up with some user-suggested things. Have a great day, and peace.